So in this video, I've addressed the thing about authority. How authority is limited to the context of your authority. You can't switch the context and say you have absolute authority, because only God has absolute authority. Which is what Jonathan and Suzy are sensing in their spirit. They're saying we can submit to you within what our functioning in the business is, but not to the extent where we have to go against God's principles. So you will hear in this video Mr. Jimmy Evans talking about his, I think, 40 years experience, 80 years between him and
Joni.
Joni.
That you're kind of representing your dad in all this?
Do I believe I'm representing my dad? I'm representing Jonathan Lamb. I'm carrying on his legacy, but
do you believe your dad would be pleased that your mom's married to Doug?
I believe my dad would have wanted me to look out. The Bible says a watchman sees trouble coming and he sounds the alarm to save him. And if he doesn't, then he'll fall into the trap. I feel like I'm sounding the alarm with all these red flags that we see, and that many others see.
There's not any red flags.
Well, Jonathan, as a pastor, some of the greatest damage that was ever done to me was by people who called themselves my watchmen. And God, there's no position of watchman in God's church. That was Old Testament. Those were Old Testament prophets. In the New Testament, there's no such thing as a watchman. And in Daystar, you're not the watchman. And in the family, you're not the watchman.
Well, I'm her covering. I'm the only one.
You're not her covering.
You're not my covering.
Well, I mean, when Dad passed, you said I was your covering.
But she got married.
You were called alongside me to help
But
me.
you called me your covering.
You were a protective covering as far as personal things he was helping me with, like
Yes,
finances,
but
etc.
also to be someone to
But
look out
you
for
were
you.
never the covering of Daystar. I was your covering at Daystar. And your dad
No, but
would
it's
be so pleased. He wanted me to get married more than anyone. He told me a million times, if anything ever happens to me.
But as
you
far
get
as
married. And he loved Doug too, as well.
but as far as your relationship.
I'm trying to figure
Sorry,
out
can I speak?
why you're so
Can I
stubborn.
finish?
No,
Jimmy?
No, I'm going to talk.
I didn't get to respond to
Hang on
her.
a minute. Is that I keep trying to wonder why you're so stubborn and why you argue so much. And I'm wondering if maybe you feel like you're being loyal to your dad.
Okay, I was just responding to her. So basically,
Wait a minute. Don't ignore what I just
You
said.
being loyal to your dad or
I'm
God?
asking you why you're being so stubborn.
I'm loyal to God.
What'd you say?
I'm loyal to God above all. Like
Well, we go. Okay.
Well, God wouldn't be pleased with this at
No,
all.
God's not
God's
pleased.
not pleased. And you've opened up yourself, both of you, to demonic activity in your family and with your kids by your rebellion against me.
I don't see it
I
as
don't.
rebellion.
I don't. It's not rebellion.
It
We're
is, it is
just-
rebellion.
Yeah, you're in
and
rebellion.
Submitted in every way.
It will be recognized. I mean, you'll bring a curse upon you and your kids.
You continue to disrespect me in the sense that I've been doing this since before you were born. I have dozens and dozens of Doug stories that I could tell you. Horrible situations that I've seen people come out of. And I'm saying, I know abuse when I see it. I know a situation like that. I am a marriage guy. I've given my entire life, adult life, to helping marriages. I'm not a divorce guy. I'm a marriage guy. I help people get married and stay married. The only time that I can shift over is when I know there's something that's damaging a person. So in my expertise, I talked to Doug a number of times. I talked to her and I told her, I'm not for Doug, I'm not against Doug. I just don't want you getting in any situation that God will bless. And so I started having conversations with Doug. Doug never badmouthed his wife to me. He never said anything bad about her. I talked to him about him, and he started telling me when he was saying things, it was consistent with 41 years of experience of people that I've talked to exactly in his situation. And I respected the fact that he never tried to trash Lisa to me. I talked to him about signing a prenup. Absolutely, I've got my own money, I don't need Joni's money. I talked to him about not being in leadership at Daystar. He said, listen, I'm about to retire, I don't want another job, I don't need that, blah, blah, blah. Every time I pushed a button, okay, and I pushed a lot of them, gracious, godly, righteous, prayed about it, the Lord spoke to me, talked to Joni, went through the whole process. That doesn't mean anything to you guys. You treat me like I'm just like you, or that really I'm less than you because I don't understand, because Doug knows how to talk to me and pull the wool over my eyes. I'm saying to you I have her and me together. First of all, she just outranks you, period. That's a simple issue. But secondly, you've got 80 years of experience sitting right here talking to you. It's a spirit, Jonathan. It's a spirit. That you won't listen, not just to authority, but to experience. I know more than you know about marriage. I know that you more than you'll ever know about marriage. Okay? That's who I am. That's who God made me to be. And I'm sitting here trying to help you and your family through this situation, and you've disrespected me the whole time in the sense that you've rejected everything I had to say. So I'm sitting here today, and I'm hoping for a good outcome. But there will be an outcome here today. And that outcome will be that you respect her, that you trust her, because you'll have to trust her. She's your boss. Or that you don't. Now, whether you respect me or not, that's just a personal issue. But you have disrespected me in that sense.
I disagree, sir.
Yeah. And so...
I feel like I've been very patient to listen to you this whole time.
well, you listened and rejected everything I had to say. To this day, you don't agree with that.
His opinion is an idol. He has made his opinion an idol, and the stubbornness that's attached to that.
Yeah.
And what God has gifted him with, the enemy's now using against him.
Yeah.
And they're both completely deceived.
How Jonathan and Suzy must just listen to them because Mr. Jimmy Evans knows more. That's what he's saying.